you wrote the big old thing and cut it yourself.
Yeah.
So I ended up recommending he be denied. He went to the hearing. He was opposed. He just emailed like 2 months ago saying that. You can talk.
There it is.
All right, it is now 6 p.m. I'd like to welcome everybody to the November 20th, 2025 Town Council meeting for the town of Greensboro. If you would please rise and salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't see anybody here for...
Yeah, no pastor tonight, sorry.
That's okay. All right, so I assume that the council had the opportunity to take a look at the agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda? If not, then I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as it is.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And same goes for the minutes from our last meeting on November the 6th, 2025. Are there any additions or corrections needed to be made to those minutes? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so the minutes of 11/6/25 are approved as written. All right, so the next item on the agenda is the public hearing. We have a couple of items that are open tonight. If none of you have ever participated before in a public hearing, this opportunity for you to give your thoughts, ideas, suggestions to the council related to whatever ordinance or resolution that we are considering. You have 3 minutes to make your comments. It is not a question and answer period, it's simply an opportunity for you to present your thoughts and ideas to the council, and we ask that you keep your comments respectful. All right? So the only thing that we have next is ordinance 2025-09, which is an ordinance of the town of Greensboro to adopt civil penalties for citations received by a speed monitoring system to comply with Maryland Code Transportation Article 21809. And so, Cindy, if you give them a brief synopsis of the ordinance.
So this is an update from the state of Maryland where they increased the fees. We are only putting this through our ordinance because we're mandated and ordered for us to continue with the speed camera.
Okay, so you didn't have to sign up to speak for the public hearing. That's for the public comment period later on. So if there's anybody here that would like to make a comment on the ordinance that we just read, please come forward, state your name and your address for the record.
Paula Turner, 113 Maple Avenue, Greensboro.
Good evening.
Good evening. I would think that Chief Lennox Terms would be a little better at explaining this because Cindy's explanation said nothing. And I called him and asked him about this, and he gave me a very thorough.
I'd be more than happy to go into details. It's
That was,
just that
I think we deserve the
Sure,
details.
Sure, if you're interested in details.
Detail oriented.
So this is where the fees are going to be increased. This has been published and also in the newspaper and in the news for citations. This is for motor vehicle speeds in excess of 12 to 15 miles an hour. It's going to be $40. In excess of 16 to 19 miles per hour, it's going to be $70. In excess of 20 to 29 miles an hour, it'll be $120. For 30 to 39 miles an hour, it'll be $230 fine. And then speed limits by 40 miles an hour will be $425. In this, there's also a flag fee for the MVA, and that's for $35, and that's the flag. If you don't pay the fine, then your license gets flagged, your registration gets flagged. There is a return check fee, and this is strictly for the vendor, not for the town of Greensboro. That's going to be $25. Any other questions? And this is, again, per legislation that got passed through the state of Maryland.
Yeah, this is not us raising the fines, this is the state of Maryland voted on these fines and had set them, so we're just trying to be in compliance with state law.
And for the viewers at home that weren't able to print off the ordinances, that her explanation would be great. So
Okay, that's fine, thank you.
Yeah, everything is posted on Town Hall Stream, so they have access to it online as well. All of our documents beforehand are posted for them to have access to.
All right, Mr. Bill, did you want to come up?
Yes. Just for clarity, if we don't.
Please state your name and address, we know who you are, but.
William Schaffner, 212 South Main Street,
Thank you.
Greensboro. You're welcome. To be clear, the first description you gave Cindy was that we're to do this to stay in compliance so that we'll be able to continue to collect fees. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so no matter what the breakdowns are for the fees is really unimportant to us in the fact that if we don't do it, we don't collect any fees.
That is correct.
Okay, I thought that's what you said clearly.
No, that's okay.
Thank you.
It's all right, thanks.
I do think that it's good that those that are listening know what the fines are going to be, so hopefully it will encourage them to obey the speed limit, because that's the whole premise behind having the speed camera, is not to collect fines but to protect our children. So, but thank you. So now if they get a $400 ticket or whatever it was, they've been told. Anybody else? Last call. All right, hearing none, then I will close the public hearing on this ordinance 25-0-9. The second one is ordinance 2025-0-11, an ordinance of the town of Greensboro establishing rates for water and sewer customers effective December the 1st, 2025, to change from quarterly to monthly billing and repealing all previous ordinances or resolutions inconsistent with the newly adopted rates and charges. So Cindy, would you give a brief overview of that as well?
So this is something that we've been discussing for the last few months. We had come to the Mayor and Council and requested that we no longer accept the payment plans just because of the amount of work and time that was spent on trying to keep up with them. And the majority of them were not in compliance with the payment plans. All it does is just extend and gives them an extra 2 weeks to pay on top of everybody else. With that, you had requested that we look and evaluate what it would be on a monthly basis to do the billing. We have broke that down for the water and sewer, along with the BRF. And of course, the trash is in a separate, of course, resolution that's behind this. But this would put the monthly fee down to about $104.17, and that's for 4,000 gallons of water and sewer usage. I can tell you that we put out about 152 flag notices about a week and a half ago of people that were about to be turned off. A lot of those individuals did come in and express their concern about paying the quarterly bills, and they liked the idea of a monthly bill because it was something they could afford. That the 3-month bill was really extremely high for them. So we have gotten feedback. It's a shame that somebody's not here, then maybe they could share that. But we did get some feedback on that from neighbors that have received these quarterly bills that they feel are a little too high. Any other questions? You want me to go over the
I
billing?
think that in the interest of everybody, there seems to be some people here tonight interested, and I know the public might be, some of the rationale behind the pros and the cons of going to the monthly as opposed to the quarterly.
Correct. Well, a lot of this has to do with families having issues with paying the bills on time. Again, looking at the number of people that we end up having to flag that don't have the money and trying to work with them. Not having that payment plan option would be difficult for them to come up with the money, so we're probably going to have a lot more turnoffs than we'd like to have. Not only that, I think that it works in the best interest of the town because we can manage water leaks a lot easier. We can pick those up through their flow report on whether or not there's leaks. When you've got 3 months worth of billing and we're having to wait to calculate that, you're not going to know until you take a look at the bill whether or not they've had a leak. So you can look at the daily Aclara report, but until you physically get that billing out, sometimes you don't know if somebody's got a leak. So that's going to help with that. It'll help us manage too, trying to assist people and getting them some help a lot quicker. Right now, when it's on a 3-month billing, if you don't know if you're going to be able to afford that bill, by the time they get it and get around to coming to us, the time's come to just about cut them off. So then we can get them some help on a monthly basis that's a little bit quicker and hopefully can get them some help from different organizations that it's not this high bill that they're expected to pay. They can get some help with the smaller bills that they have. I think with this too, it helps with us to be able to manage the different schedules that we have. Right now we're on a quarterly basis here with the town. However, the town of Goldsboro, which we're still billing through until the end of this year, that's on a monthly basis. The county billing that we're responsible for is on a monthly basis. This would just make it more of a streamline for us to be able to do the monthly billing and stay in a rhythm of not having to break from that and then having to do a quarterly billing. So I hope that that kind of explains everything a little bit more in detail, what we had discussed previously.
Okay, so whichever one wants to come first, please, again, like I said, come to the microphone, state your name and address, please.
Leva Taylor, 407 Mallard Drive. I just have a couple of things about the water. I do understand, I work for a utility company, so I understand the need for monthly for large families. I personally, I would like monthly. My water bill every quarter is astronomical. That being said, I do not think it's going to help with delinquencies because they could break those payments down, they could budget. They're going to be delinquent. So I'm just curious, now that if it gets passed, it goes through and it's monthly, what is going to be the notice of delinquency for monthly? Is it going to be 60 days? Is it going to be 90 days? Because I think that the effort that you had in the delinquencies with yours quarterly, you will still find those same delinquencies in the end, whether it's 60 days or 90 days, and then they're going to say, oh, well, now I'm 90 days, and now I got to pay this next one. So I think those challenging customers are still going to be challenging. There's no way around it. Unfortunately, even if you offer them help, budgeting is budgeting, and some people are good at it, some people aren't. So I do understand breaking it down monthly to make it easier for the families. I like that aspect. I was curious about how the statements will be going out. I know that printing statements, postage, and stuffing envelopes can be very time consuming as well. Maybe not as time consuming as the keeping up with the payment plans, but cost-wise, with postage, they're up to 78 cents now, and they're fixing to go up again. So I was just curious on if it's going to be outsourced or done in-house. And then a big concern, I think, right now for the transition is the quarterly bill that we currently have will be due, if I'm not mistaken, by December 31st. So we'll have a big chunk bill that's due December 31st, and then we're going to roll right into the monthly bill. So is there going to be maybe a grace period or just for the transition for those who are like, okay, here's my big bill, and then here's my little bill? It might just take a minute of getting used to that, but a big bill and then a little bill back to back might just be a little struggle just to transition into it. So that's all.
I know you said one question and answer, but I think I also
Well, I mean,
things.
there's some legitimate questions there.
Yep. So the way this works is that the last bill we sent out has already come due and cutoffs were already issued. For the next cycle, that would be 9/16 through 12/15. We would do a bill on 12/15. That bill would be due on January the 15th of 2026. If it's not paid by then, you get a 15-day grace period. So you technically get 45 days before the water and a portion of it is cut off. So from that point, if they did approve monthly, we would then do the next bill, which would run from December the 16th to January the 15th, and then it would be due on February the 15th. and then so on. You would have another 2 weeks of a grace period before any cutoffs are done. As far as mailing, of course, we are on a municipality bulk mailing. We also have a machine that stuffs the bills for us, so we don't have to do any of that. You stick it on the machine and it automatically folds and stuffs them, and then applies the postage. So it's not that, and I will say that, we do have a lot of residents here that prefer their bill to go via email.
Yes.
So, and we're going to encourage that. We have just started texting and emailing residents when their bill is due as well. So that was the option that we just figured out we could do a couple weeks ago, so we started doing that to encourage people to check and then come in and at least address the issue with their bills. So I hope that clarifies it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, next.
It was already addressed, she just addressed it.
Pardon me?
She was able to address my question.
Oh, okay, great.
Oh, good, thank you.
Anybody else?
Should we read Donna Clay's concern?
Well, Mr. Bill's coming up right
Okay.
now.
I can wait.
No, go, you're up, come on.
Bill Schaffner, 212 South Main Street, Greensboro. You answered the bulk rate question that I had. That's good to know. I figured you probably did, but has there been an analysis of the actual cost between a monthly and a quarterly bill? And would you like my questions all at once, or question,
Technically, I'm
answer?
not supposed to take questions, but let me see what you've got, Mr. Bill.
Oh, okay. Is there any significant, and this is need an honest and true answer as best you can. I don't even know why I said that. I know that's what I'm getting, so scratch that. Is there substantially any difference between the amount of the quarterly bill and the amount of the 3 monthly bills?
No. No. It's broken down in a third.
It's the same money, whether it's quarterly or monthly. So then I agree 100% with what you said. You're still going to have, guarantee, I've been in that kind of business a long time of collecting, you're going to have about the same number of people that can't pay it monthly, that can't pay it quarterly. So my last is a statement. I would prefer monthly. I'm used to it. It's no big deal, but I don't care. But I prefer quarterly. So the cost analysis is really the only last question.
So the cost, you're asking what the difference is between monthly versus the quarterly billing?
Yeah, the actual expense.
So the actual expense, you mean for us in-house?
Yes,
or
for the town.
For the town? There's really not much more. We looked at this a while back, and I think it was going to cost the town about an additional $5,000 to $6,000 in additional envelopes, paper, printing, and postage a year to do that.
So there is a cost increase of $5,000 to $6,000 a year if you do it monthly versus do it quarterly.
Correct.
Then I would prefer it done quarterly.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? So, having heard some of these comments, Ms. Donna, I would ask that you come up and read yours if you don't mind, please. I think that it would be interesting for the rest of the audience to hear your thoughts.
You'll just have to excuse my voice, I'm kind of shaky. I didn't want to come up.
If you'd like somebody to read it for
Read
you.
it for you if you'd like.
I'll read it, let me see how I do.
Okay.
Okay, I can appreciate you trying to help those who have trouble budgeting their bills by offering monthly billing instead of quarterly billing. When I first heard the proposal, I thought no big deal, monthly or quarterly. Then I did the math. The basic rate for water and sewage is the same, monthly or quarterly. Going to monthly billing, where the limit is 4,000 gallons, increases the likelihood that families will incur overages. For example, households that don't even use the current 12,000 gallons could easily pay an overage fee of $25 for water and sewage combined and still not use the minimum 12,000 gallons they are allotted now. For example, in January, 2,900 gallons, February, 3,200, March, 4,200. That's a total of 10,300 gallons. No overages for the quarterly billing, but an additional 25 for monthly billing, and they still have not even used the minimum 12,000 gallons. There are many combinations where houses would use 12,000 gallons for quarterly and pay the base rate, but monthly they would be over the 4,000 gallon limit, costing them an additional or even $50 extra for the 3-month period. And I gave examples of that, where it would be somebody used 4,500, 3,500, and 4,000. Their total is 12,000, which if it's quarterly, there's no overage fee, but that particular, for 1 month, they would pay an extra $25. And then an example of where somebody would still use 12,000 gallons, but it would cost them $50 extra. April, they used 4,300, May, 4,300, and then June, 3,400. And that would cost them an additional $50 because they would have 2 months where they had overages. I understand the rationale for going to monthly billing to help people avoid a cutoff, but I feel you also need to know the adverse effect it could have on some households. I'm glad I don't have to make the decision. It would be difficult because I see both sides. If it were possible, I strongly feel monthly billing should be an option for those who prefer monthly, and those who want to stay with quarterly can do so.
All right, thank you. You only get one crack at this, Mr. Bill.
That was my question. I forgot a question, but that's fine.
No, if you didn't use your 3 minutes, please come on up.
I don't think I did, and just take
Come
a
on up.
second.
Just messing
Bill
with you.
Schaffner, 212 South Main Street. My other question is, why do we even have to have a usage, minimum usage? Why can't we have an actual usage rate? I'd like to understand the thought process for that.
Mr. Bill, that's a long conversation that we had. We had that when we were considering changing the rates about a year ago. We may be able to, Cindy may be able to get you some information, but there's a lot of information, and mostly it was derived from our vendor, our engineer, Davis Bowen and Friedel, was the one presented the calculations for us. But it's not a discussion to be had, discussion to have tonight.
Can we have a Cliff Notes response to that in some way? Cindy, is that possible?
If you want to put in a PIA, I will fill it. You come see me.
All right, I'll come see you tomorrow. Thank you for your indulgence.
Paula Turner, 113 Maple Avenue, Greensboro. And I'm just going to read to you a post that I put on Facebook this morning that I think everyone needs to realize and understand is, so January 1, a lot of people's health insurance deductible restarts. I know mine does, January 1st. Medicare Part B premium is going up to $202.90 per month. The Medicare deductible is going up to $283 a month, and the 2026 drug plan deductible for our seniors is $615. On top of that, you're looking at Christmas, New Year's, and the rising electric bill costs. This could really cripple some people in town. It's always been known, even in the 9 years that I've been here, as the water bill has slowly increased. I know that I could walk in town hall and pay every month. No one has ever turned my check away. It has always been processed through my bank. And like Leva said, this isn't going to do away with the delinquent people. You're going to be turning more people off because now there's not a grace period. Now there's not a payment plan. And I know of some people living on my street that the bank is paying it because they're squatting in a foreclosed house. Thank you.
All right, thank you. These are all good comments. Thank you. Anybody else?
Sure. Cindy Harrison, 504 North Academy Street. I pay my electric bill every month. I pay my car payment every month. I pay my insurance every month. I've been paying my water bill every month. I like it that way.
Anybody else? Okay, not seeing anybody else rising, I will close the public hearing on ordinance 2025-0-11. And so the next one is resolution 2025-R-05, a resolution of the mayor and council of the town of Greensboro, changing the trash refuse billing from quarterly to monthly at a rate of $16.50 per month per single-family residence, including each unit of a multi-family dwelling. And I can answer that one. We're just trying to make that consistent with the water billing if we go to monthly. That's the only purpose behind this resolution. However, if anybody, it's a public hearing, if you'd like to come forward and speak about that, please do so. Okay. All right, so I will close that public hearing as well. Thank you all again for reaching out to us and letting us know how you feel. And I hope we've been able to answer some of the questions that you brought up. So, now we're on to public comment. Oh, I'm out of time. Mr. Bill, did you want to make a public comment?
I do.
Please come forward.
212, right?
Bill Saffron, 212 South Main Street.
Got it.
My only comment is there was kind of a mini celebration of 300 and some votes being cast, and that's a nice number, but I'm most grateful for the 156 people that took the time and turned out to come and vote. That's how many people voted. If there'd have been 3 openings, we'd have had about 400 and some, which is a meaningless number. What matters is the 156 people that bothered to come and vote. That's what's important, and I'm grateful and thankful. If any of you are in this room that are in that 156, thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Taylor, maybe?
Yeah. I did read all the documents beforehand, I appreciate it. It is not per se relevant to any of the ordinances or the things discussed this evening. I just had a couple things that maybe we could talk about in the future. One is, I was just curious if the speed cameras with the rates going up, do we get to keep all of that money, or I'm assuming there has to be some kind of split or payment for the monitor itself or something like that? Because if the rates are going up due to state mandate, I'm assuming they probably want to take some of it. Or else it would just be a nice increase of money that we get to keep for ourselves. And then on that note, I look at the police reports, I don't see anything mentioned about the Doe. I'm just curious on how well she's doing with her her big girl job, and if she's doing well with what she was hired for, which is, you know, finding all the bad drugs and getting them off the road. And then the last thing is, I noticed that next door is now become a residence, so I was just wondering if there was actually a confirmation that since there was so much taboo over the selling, and if it was going to be a rental Zillow and repairs that were needed, if it actually did meet code, and so that way the rest of us can know that it did what it needed to do to become a rental.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
I can't answer the one about the dog. If you see the report from the chief, there are statistics on there of what the dog, how many sniffs that she's had and how many arrests have been made.
Maybe I don't know the code yet. Is it in
We can get with the chief, but it is in the report.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look again.
Okay. Who we have next? Don, are you? Okay. And that's it. And is there somebody that would like to make public comment that forgot to write their name on it? All right, good, thank you. All right, so now we're moving on to the department reports. Mrs. Joseph.
Hopefully I'm going to make this brief tonight instead of my long reports that I normally give. Brandon is on a much-needed vacation, so he is not here, and I do not have a report from him other than the grant for the boat ramp. Bless his heart, he's been hard at it. He ended up getting us an additional amount of money that brought us up to $222,500 for the boat ramp. We also had a recommendation from one of our police officers that there was no lighting down there. So Brandon went back to DNR and they approved an additional $25,000 for 3 light poles. So the work is due to start down there the first week of December. So you should still see some activity down there. That's all I have for Brandon. Now let me find the chief's report here. And of course, all of his statistical reports are on Town Hall streams. So the red speed cameras issued 377 speed violations during the month of October. And like I said, the reports are on Town Hall streams. They have 27 active investigations. They had no training assignments this month, no grant money to report this month. Investigations on October the 11th, there was a report of a motor vehicle theft. The vehicle was later recovered in Queen Anne's County on October the 15th. Sean Todd was arrested on an outstanding warrant in reference to this case. Sergeant Adams conducted a traffic stop of an individual who was riding a four-wheeler that resulted in a DWI arrest. A skimming device was retrieved from the credit card machine at Family Dollar. This matter is still under investigation. And then a motor vehicle theft was reported and the investigation is ongoing. So for my report, I did want to say that, we've been working, Brandon and I, on that Jesse Sutton Park with the sensory park there. I did get the documents. I couldn't find them, and I did get the documents from DNR. There was a little bit of a hiccup there where it indicated that the site work was to be done by Public Works. So that's the first $50,000 of that list that we have to put up front first. So we're looking at our options with that right now. We were unaware that that was part of the agreement when we took that $250,000 grant. So more to come on that. The fiscal year 23 audit. I know you've been hearing this for a long time. I got confirmation yesterday that it will be done by December 15th. Moving on, the 24 and 25 audits will be done simultaneously, and we're hoping to have them completed by March 31st of 26 now. We've been working on the comprehensive plan through the Planning Commission. We met last night. That's in the process, and we had Mr. Johnson come in, who is a certified planner, to assist us with that. We have a long way to go with that. That's something that has to be done every 10 years, and it's due this year. So it's going to take us about a year to complete that. Other than that, we've got events coming up. We've got the Coat Drive that starts tomorrow at the Community Center. They open up at 10 a.m. and they go till 1 p.m. and then they close down for a break, and then they open back up at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. If there's anyone that could come out and at least show up to do the late hours of like 6:30, 7 o'clock that can help break it down, that would be most appreciated. And then we have our Merry and Bright Greensboro Night. That's going to be on December the 4th, which is a Thursday night from 6 to 8. We're going to have Santa there. We'll have Chelsea Powell there taking photos for free. We're going to have the PTO there along with the choir singing. Lots of goodies, hot chocolate, hot cider, cookies, and little gifts for the kids. So we hope to see everyone out there for that. And one final thing, our office will be closed that morning. On December the 4th, we have utility program, which is a work order that we purchased, training, and that's going to be for admin staff and public works staff. So that's going to go probably about 4 to 5 hours for us to get that training, not only in the system, but also the app that's going to have to go on the phone. That will help us cut down and get information out to our public works department pretty quickly, actually within a matter of minutes. So we'll be shutting down in the morning. I'm not quite sure of the hours yet, but we will post that on our Facebook page and our website. And that's it.
All right, I have a question.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So on the billing expenditures, is the workman's comp an annual payment, or is that?
The workers' comp is an annual payment.
Okay.
We could have split that up into a payment
It's fine.
plan,
It's
but
just a large sum of money, and I just
it
wanted to make
is.
sure it was annual or not.
it is, but you get charged extra if you do it in a payment plan, and I wasn't gonna pay
No, that's
the
fine.
extra.
I just wasn't
Yes.
sure.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other questions regarding anything? No? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we go into our old. No, she said you do not have it.
No, I don't have any updates this evening. Generally for these meetings, a lot of what I've done is the legislation in front of you, but if there are particular things that you want me to provide updates for at meetings, I'm happy to do that. You just have to give me some guidance on what you would like updates on.
Typically, we reach out to you, prior to the meeting to give you advance notice, so
Yeah.
hopefully that works.
When are we gonna have an updated charter?
Whenever you guys are ready. So my understanding was that the council was going through it with the last town manager, and when you were ready with the chapters, you were going to present it to me to try to avoid some costs.
So we've had that conversation today, so Cindy, if you want to bring the council up to speed.
So I have been working on that charter, and I'm looking at trying to do, it goes by article, so I'm trying to do 3 at a time, picking the quickest ones that we can get through that are smaller, and then gradually working on the larger ones. So I'm hoping that in January we can start working on that. I need to get them together that I've got, present them to Lindsay first, and then they'll come back to council for council to take a look at.
And then we have to have a public hearing on
Correct.
it before we take any action as well.
Yes. And the time frame for those will be a little bit more stretched out than ordinances, just because there's a longer notice period between introduction and public hearing.
Okay.
But, yes, as many edits as you can at one time is best, rather than doing it piecemeal, because you have to pay to advertise every single time.
Well, we were looking to find the articles that didn't require a lot of editing.
Yep.
So we could bunch them together, and if we found one or two that, made a lot of changes we think might need to be necessary, we'd work on them together. So package them together and get it done as quickly as we can, and keeping the expense down. It's just time consuming, obviously, to read through that, make comments, share it to the council, get it back, and so forth. So if you, right there in the audience, wonder what we're talking about, it's the charter for the town that guides everything that we do, which has not been updated for many, many, many years, and it needs to be.
Cindy, do you have the updates that we worked on earlier?
She does.
I do, but I've gone through them too, because
Well, some of that might be outdated by now too, so, but still, okay.
Yeah, I think it would be helpful from your all's perspective if you could make a list of issues, concerns, any amendments that you think need to be addressed ahead of time, so that Cindy's putting her effort doing that before I review. It doesn't make sense to put something forward if you don't think there's an issue with it or it's not going to address your concerns.
Yeah, it certainly, wasn't on our agenda tonight, but if you have the time to read through the charter and you have some comments, we would encourage you to forward them to us, because we have whatever changes we're recommending would have to come to you anyway. So as a council, if you have the time and desire to go through there and make some changes, we welcome those comments.
I'll get them out to you next week.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Lindsay. All right. So now we're going to go back into old business, which means we need to consider voting on the ordinances that we had our public hearing on earlier this evening. So the first one that we will consider is ordinance 2025-0-9. Do I need to read that again, Lindsay?
Yes.
All right, it's an ordinance of the town of Greensboro to adopt civil penalties for citations received by a speed monitoring system to comply with Maryland Code Transportation Article 21-809. So I will open that up for discussion with the council. So whoever would like to go first.
have no problem.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
I was just gonna give you a minute. So, hearing no discussion, or any changes to the proposed ordinance, I would then look for a motion to approve, ordinance 2025-09 as introduced and written.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-0-9.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, would you poll the council, please?
Ms. Ernest,
Yes.
Mr. Noon,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The next one on the agenda is ordinance 2025-0-11, an ordinance of the town of Greensboro establishing rates for water and sewer customers effective December the 1st, 2025, to change from quarterly to monthly billing and repealing all provisions, ordinances, or resolutions inconsistent with the newly adopted rates and charges. So I will open that up for discussion amongst the council.
So I had similar concerns to those that were expressed this evening. The financial impact being one of them on residents with back-to-back bills. They're going to have what would be a last quarterly bill due January 15th, and then another bill right behind that due February 15th for $104. So you're talking quite a bit of money, and let's not forget the people that are outside town limits that pay double. That's going to be a pretty big impact on people right around the holidays, the first of the year, tax season. I would like to see maybe a phase-in plan for this, like Leva mentioned, to push it out a little bit further into the year, maybe after people get tax returns, to maybe help them write things. Maybe go from a quarterly bill, and then the first change be a 2-month bill due in March, so that would give them 2 months to get things ahead instead of just a month. So that's my thoughts in addition to what was already expressed.
Well, as a guy who doesn't use his 12,000 gallons a quarter, for convenience, I would rather pay monthly. I pay all my other bills monthly. It just would be easier for me budgeting to just pay a monthly bill. But I see both sides of the coin. I understand the difference. But I don't think when you phase this in, you're going to avoid having a large bill and then a month later have a smaller bill. Because if you're going to phase it in, you're going to keep paying quarterly until you decide to go monthly. So I think the first of the year is a good time to go. It's a 15-day grace period. I think that's, if you're going to transition, then if you're going to pull the trigger, just do it. Do it then.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, with Pete, I think the letter was written very well. I think there are some concerns with people, but it may make them think about their water usage. Summertime's probably going to be the biggest water usage for people, doing a monthly bill. But wintertime, I don't think there's a problem. And I think Cindy's got it right with if there's leaks, they'll be able to catch it faster with a leak than letting it go for 3 months and then find out you got a bill that's even more. So.
Is there an alert system?
There is an alert, but it's got to be over a
It's
certain
a
amount.
large amount of gallons.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have a concern with is what Donna, Ms. Clay was talking about, where 1 month if you use 100 gallons of water, you get an overcharge. So really, we got to get rid of the 12,000 gallons. I mean, we're thinking 12,000 gallons and you're okay, but if we're doing monthly, I wish we could maybe somehow the third month, if it equals 12,000, then that's what they pay, or something like that. I don't think it's right where if I use 45 in January, I mean, just like she said, in February I use 35, and March I use 4,000. I mean, that doesn't even equal the 12,000, but I'm still paying overages. I mean, I agree with the monthly billing. I think it will help people, but I just don't agree with if I use more water in January, I don't understand why I have to pay in overages if I'm under the 12,000 gallons for the quarter.
Well, the quarter effectively goes away if you pass the ordinance. I mean, it just goes away.
Right, but we're billing.
I know what you're saying, but I'm
but
saying-
we're billing for 12,000 gallons.
No, you're billing for 4,000 a month if you go monthly, and you're billing for 12,000 if you remain quarterly.
Yeah.
That's the difference. So, once you go monthly, there is no 12,000
So
gallons.
take the 12,000 out.
It's 4,000 gallons a month.
Yeah, it goes
It's your
away.
minimum.
Okay, that's all I have to say.
Anybody else? I have similar concerns with what Mr. Noon just said. I hadn't realized that. I didn't. So I know Donna was, I guess, a math teacher. And so that was easy for her to figure out. But I don't think that's fair. I don't know how we fix that or how we get around that. But that's just hard for me to swallow passing this. Not that I get a vote. And if we, I suppose, I guess my question is to you is, can we keep the quarterly and give people the option of paying monthly based on the quarterly 12,000 gallon scenarios, but not the payment plan? Just either you pay monthly or you pay quarterly. I know that doesn't solve all the problem. If we encourage enough people, maybe enough will do the monthly. And those that want to do, we've heard some tonight that are in favor of that. Maybe that would work and we could help both sides of the story.
That option is always available, and it's always been available. It just depends on if the individual wants to take their 12 months, divide it by 12, and come up with a monthly payment that they can pay every month. I know several people that do that, but unfortunately, I can't make them do that or to understand it, but that option is there. They can do that as long as it's paid by the due date. Absolutely.
We can certainly encourage them to do that.
And I can tell you, people are not going to even pay the monthly because some people, how many people have not paid their car payment for 2 or 3 months and then all of a sudden get notices? So I still think we need to be fair about this because that 4,000 gallons, like everybody said, you could use 4,500 gallons and you're getting overcharged for it. If we want to pay a monthly bill, it's up to us to pay the monthly bill, to me. I mean, I know it's helping you, but in the long run, I think it's going to be hurting people.
Or treat it kind of like a Delmarva Power, somebody on budget billing,
Right.
like Delmarva Power, you write it at the end. So if they go over their 4,000 gallons the first 2 months, then it gets right, and they go under on their 3rd month, then it gets rated somehow.
That would be up for council to determine that. I mean, that would be something that can be done, that we look at that by the 3rd month, and if they've got overage, we take care of that overage.
I think that's creating more work than it would save. To me, the simplistic option would be to continue allowing the quarterly and the monthly billing based on people's preference, encouraging them to receive their bills by email to save the work and the money on that, and allowing people to do both.
Well, just to also give you a little bit of information, Denton, Ridgely, Preston, Fettlesburg all do quarterly billing. Now, I know Fettlesburg is looking at changing to monthly, so if that...
Well, is there any way that we can revisit this by the next cycle of budget, possibly?
The next budget.
Oh, yeah,
Next
you
budget
can,
cycle.
we can table the ordinance if that's
Yeah,
what you want.
absolutely.
I mean, we can see, I mean, it might benefit them at that point, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we can come up with a different type of plan that will benefit the town office and the public.
I really don't think we should table it. I think we leave it up to the residents. Either they're going to pay monthly or they're going to pay quarterly. I mean, we're going to give them a flat bill and that's it. I mean, you either pay it or your water gets shut off. I mean,
Right.
monthly or quarterly. I mean, I think you should have that option.
With no payment plan?
No payment plan,
Yep,
correct.
Yep.
Yes, did you say something, Lindsay?
I was going to say that there was a motion on the floor from Councilmember Ernest to table.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. There is? Okay.
There is.
All right, so,
Withdrawal?
there's a motion on the floor, then to table the action on this ordinance until a later date. Is there a second to that motion?
Who made that motion? I didn't hear any motion. Kim, did you
Sir.
make, okay, thank you.
Making
Hearing
sure, I
no-
didn't make that up, right? I didn't
No,
I heard it too.
All right, hearing no second, then the motion would die?
Yes.
Yes. So then the option is to vote on the ordinance. So we voted not to postpone acting on it, so we need to act on it, either vote on it or have a motion to change it in some form or fashion, as both have been discussed. So I will wait for somebody to make a decision. Crickets. We're thinking.
Well, I mean, I like monthly billing, but if it's better for everybody to stay quarterly and they have the option of paying monthly on their own,
They've
I'm
always
okay
had
with
that
that.
option.
I'm okay with that. So if we need to just stay quarterly, we would just need to make a motion to just dissolve this,
Deny.
deny. Yes. I make a motion that we deny the ordinance.
I'll second it.
Well, that was quick. So there's a motion on the floor to deny the ordinance, and there's a second by Pete and a second by Kim. Any further discussion on that motion? All in favor? Will you poll the council, please?
Ms. Ernest?
Aye.
Mr. Noon?
Aye.
Mr. Harrison? Mr. Brilliant?
Yes.
So, for those of you that are wondering what we just did, I'm going to say what I think we just did. So the council did not take any action. They actually voted to not vote on the ordinance, and it's going to remain the way it is now. So
You didn't vote to not vote, you voted to disapprove the ordinance.
Okay.
So the ordinance has been rejected. So it's been acted on, it is now dead.
Quarterly billing
And the status
Kind
quo.
of saying the same thing, just a fancy way of saying it,
And
right?
it was not,
Yeah.
the status quo remains.
All right.
Correct.
Correct. So you can either pay quarterly, or if you choose to, you
You
can
are
pay
required to
monthly.
pay quarterly. You are required to pay quarterly, you may pay monthly.
Will there need to be a new ordinance to take the payment plan out?
No.
I don't think that there is the payment plan in an ordinance, I
Okay.
think it was just a nicety, but we
Courtesy.
can confirm, yeah.
Courtesy.
Yep, just making sure all the Ts are crossed.
Yep,
Are we all straight, Lindsay?
yes,
Thank you. Keep me straight.
we're trying.
I know it's a hard job. So, resolution 2025R-05, I gotta read, which I know is gonna happen to it, but. I've lost it. I'll find it. Yeah, I do. It's a resolution of the mayor and council of the town of Greensboro, changing the trash refuse billing from quarterly to monthly at a rate of $16.50 per month per single-family residence, including each unit of a multi-family dwelling. So I will look for a motion, absent any discussion, I will look for a motion from somebody on the council on what they'd like to do with this resolution.
Make a motion, we deny it.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Pete to deny resolution 2025-R-5.
I'll second it.
And there's a second by Mr. Harrison. Would you please poll the council?
Ms. Ernest?
Aye.
Mr. Noon?
Aye.
Mr. Harrison?
Aye.
Mr. Brilliant? Thank you.
So I learned something tonight, Lindsay. I've never heard of denying resolution of ordinance.
I don't think you've ever done it before,
I
so
know.
kudos.
I learned,
Yeah.
I learned something, yeah. It's good to learn something every day. Right, Ms. Clay?
That is the power of public comment.
Yeah.
Doing the numbers.
All right. All right, thank God all of that's done. All right, holiday schedule. So the council, you have the holiday schedule in your packet.
I think it would have been easier if she told us what days they were working.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's hope.
Oh, that's all.
So I will, just for
Just on there for notice.
the public, I will read the proposed 2026 holiday schedule. January 1st is New Year's Day. January 19th, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday. February the 16th, President's Day. April the 3rd, Good Friday. May 25th is Memorial Day. June the 19th, Juneteenth. July the 3rd, Independence Day observed. September the 7th, Labor Day. November the 3rd, Election Day. November 11th, Veterans Day. November 26th, Thanksgiving Day. November 27th, American Indian Heritage Day. We're working much into November, aren't we? December the 24th, Christmas Eve, and December the 25th is the day Santa Claus comes. All right? So would somebody on the council like to make a motion to approve the proposed 2026 holiday schedule as I just read?
I'll make that motion to approve the Town of Greensboro 2026 holiday schedule.
All right, we have a motion made by Joe. Do we have a second?
Wow. I'll second it.
All right, we have a second by Pete. Would you poll the council, please?
Ms. Ernest?
Aye.
Mr. Noon?
Aye.
Mr. Harrison?
Aye.
Mr. Sorry. Mr. Brilliant, thank you.
Okay, all right. So next on the agenda is the office policies. The first one is Resolution 2025-R-06, which is a resolution adopting the Town of Greensboro official email use and record-keeping policy. So, is there any, did you want to update the council on that a little bit, or I assume you all have read it, so then I will open up the floor for discussion or any questions about it.
Anybody have any questions?
I have no questions.
I will say that all three of these resolutions have been before our esteemed legal attorney and have been approved for legal authority. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. So if there's no further discussion on this resolution, I will look for a motion to approve Resolution 2025-R-6.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-R-6.
All right, thank you. And then a second?
Second.
All right, poll the council, please.
Ms. Ernest?
Aye.
Mr. Noon?
Aye.
Mr. Harrison?
Aye.
Mr. Brilliant? Thank you.
All right. Now, if you all would gladly sign that, let me pass it back. And while they're doing that, I will read the second resolution, which is Resolution 2025-R-7, which is a resolution adopting the Town of Greensboro social media conduct guidelines for elected officials, employees, and appointed boards. Is there any discussion on that resolution?
No.
All right, hearing none, then I will look for a motion to approve Resolution 2025-R-7 or to deny it.
Now that you know.
Pete made a motion.
Oh, we have a motion to approve. All right, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, will you poll the council, please?
Ms. Ernest?
Aye.
Mr. Noon?
Aye.
Mr. Harrison?
Aye.
Mr. Brilliant? Thank you.
All right, and then the last one is Resolution 2025-R-8, a resolution adopting a media and public statement policy for the town of Greensboro, Maryland. I will open up that for discussion and/or a motion to approve or deny.
I'll make a motion for resolution 2025-R-8.
To approve.
Approve it, yes.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve the ordinance. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, thank you. Kim, would you hold the council, please?
Ms. Ernest?
Aye.
Mr. Noon?
Aye.
Mr. Harrison?
Aye.
Mr. Brilliant? Thank you.
All right, we're getting near the end. Council remarks. Kim, would you like to start?
Thank you all for coming out this evening and showing interest in the meeting. Hopefully the numbers continue to increase. That's it. Have a happy Thanksgiving next week.
So I just want to say thank you for the public comment. I think what our attorney said, public comment does work. So please, if we have any more topics come up, please, come up to the stand for public comment.
My turn?
Von Corin.
Yeah. Don't forget, Thursday morning, we're handing out the Thanksgiving dinner. Was that 90? Was it like 90 or so?
Right now, we got at least 90. I talked to Billy this afternoon, so he's gonna give me an update, hopefully.
What do we meet, 8:30-ish, something, 8:30?
He's saying like 9 now here
Okay.
at the town hall, but I'll definitely reach out to you all and let you know as soon as he calls me back.
Okay. All right, and everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for your comments, guys. And ladies.
I want to thank Ms. Donna and all those that participated in public comment because I was ready to go monthly and Ms. Donna actually opened my eyes. That's the math teacher in her. But thank you because it made a difference. Have a safe and joyous holiday. If you do nothing else, make memories. And if you can't do anything else, just try to help somebody, even if it's just holding the door. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. Again, I want to reiterate, thank you for your interest and your comments. As usual, they are valuable to us. I would remind you that tomorrow at the community center, we have a lot of winter clothing for people. So if you or you know anybody that could use an extra coat, jacket, or boots, or gloves, or mittens, all of that good stuff.
Or toothbrush, or toothbrush.
Or, we got 1,200 toothbrushes. So,
Everybody gets
you'll have clean teeth if nothing else. Please, no, seriously though, please invite them, have them please come see us. A lot of time and effort has been spent on this, and it's a worthwhile event, and I know people in our community can take advantage of it. So, here, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're out of here. It's adjourned at 7:02.
Thank you.